Paul Aris, Pro-Vice Provost here in UCL with responsibility for founding the press and for overseeing its daily operations. UCL Press is the first fully open access university press in the UK. We started in 2015 and now we publish a range of outputs, research monographs, journals, and we begin this year with educational open access resources and textbooks. It's been a tremendous journey and one that's only just started. We're happy to announce in January 2024 that our outputs will have achieved 10 million downloads and accesses in 246 countries and territories across the world. That's a really great result from a standing start and is a tribute to my colleagues in the press, to our academics here in UCL who publish with us, and to academics more widely who write to us with their proposals and ask for UCL Press coverage in publishing their outputs. Open access really is incredibly important to a research-intensive university like UCL in the 21st century. The colleagues you'll meet in this short film will talk about their experiences of publishing with the press, their experiences of seeing their outputs in open access, and the celebration that they feel for moving to this form of dissemination, publication, and delivery. And if you feel like publishing with us in the future, please do get in touch. We simply don't publish UCL outputs. We publish outputs from anyone, anywhere in the world, who has something to say and wants to say it.
My name is Jakob Storgård Nielsen, and I'm Professor of Scandinavian and Comparative Literature in Scandinavian Studies here at UCL. Together with my colleagues in Scandinavian Studies, I co-edited and co-wrote the UCL Press textbook Introduction to Nordic Cultures that draws on a course we have developed over many years, introducing our students to the full range of languages and cultures and histories in Scandinavia and the wider Nordic region. Since 2020, our book on Nordic cultures has reached more than 150 territories and countries around the world, from South Africa to India, from Brazil to China. And we know from colleagues around the world teaching Scandinavian studies and Nordic studies that they're using our textbook with their students. So we have indeed had a global reach. And by taking our textbook to the rest of the world, we are taking good advantage of the opportunities offered by UCL Press Open Access program.
So my name is Professor Amber Chima. I'm the head of the UCL Centre for 3D Models of Health and Disease, and I work within the Faculty of Medical Sciences. So we are currently in the process of publishing a textbook with UCL Press, which will be called Bioengineering Human Tissues. So we have chosen to publish open access for a number of reasons. The first is based around readership and dissemination. We wanted to publish a book which would be freely available to anyone all over the world, actually. And what we didn't want to do was have a textbook behind a paywall so that people really weren't able to access information because of maybe financial means. The second reason we decided to publish open access was actually how much researchers buy into this concept. We have been working towards most of our research publications being open access, so it seems somewhat counterintuitive to then say the textbooks that we contribute to should be paid for or sit behind a paywall.
Hello, my name is Pablo Sendra. I'm an associate professor in planning and urban design. My field of research is about participatory planning and urban design. So a lot of my work is working in partnerships with communities, mainly in London, and co-producing with them ideas of how they want their cities, their neighborhoods, their immediate built environment to be, and the kind of community spaces they like, the kind of public spaces they like to live in, and how that will influence the way they relate to each other. The main reason why I chose to publish Open Access is because the book was the result of a piece of research that was produced in partnership with community groups in London. So I wanted to ensure that these community groups could have access to the results of the research and could benefit from the results of the research without a paywall. But mainly, the book, at the end of the day, is a toolkit, it's a guide for community groups and planners, people that may not have direct access to publications through universities. It was vital for this book to be published in open access. And also, the book has had a strong impact directly on London communities. So since the book was published, I have been contacted directly by community groups in London that have downloaded our book and that has read it and has asked, both Daniel Fitzpatrick and I has asked for help on co-producing research that can have a positive impact in their neighborhood. Thankfully, this tide is changing, and now there's a stronger push for open access, which means that we can make sure that our research reaches the general public and can have a positive impact in society, and that we're not just talking to other academics when we write our research, but we're also talking to the general public.
My name is Dr. Yasmin Didam Aktaş. I'm an associate professor of applied materials and structures at UCL Department of Civil, Environmental and Geomatic Engineering. I am also the deputy editor-in-chief of UCL Open Environment Journal. At UCL Open Environment, we take the open research principles one step further, and besides the implementing open access publication, we turn the whole peer review process to an open, transparent process, which helps the authors to be able to directly respond to the reviewers, turning it into a dialogue rather than a monologue. In academic publishing, we are going through this need for a paradigm shift. And everywhere, including UCL, we are moving towards this publication model where the paywalls and other barriers are not relevant anymore. It's very important for me as an academic to publish open access, to make sure that everybody can read what I have done and can actually feed back to me with their own insights, so that we can have a conversation around the world on research methods and outcomes to take this forward all together. It is our joint responsibility to make sure that we reach wider audiences with our work.
I'm Peter Swab. I'm teaching in the English department, and I work mainly on 19th and 20th century literature. And at the moment I'm working on a book on the English novelist and short story writer and poet Sylvia Townsend Warner. And since 2015 I've been editing the Journal of the Sylvia Townsend Warner Society. That comes out once or twice a year, and it's been published by UCL Press since 2015. So before 2015, the Warner Journal was full of interesting and good material, but it only reached members of the society. It was only a distribution of about a couple of hundred issues. So it felt in a way that was a shame to have such a narrow readership, and didn't quite go with one of the intentions both of the society and the journal, which is to make the case for Warner as not just a good writer, but an important one and a major kind of figure in mid-20th century literature. The stats that I got recently were tremendously encouraging. That since 2019, it seems there have been 100,000 downloads of articles from the journal. And that compares, interestingly, to the 200 subscribers to the journal in the early days. The society has members in New Zealand and America, Norway, Germany, France, so it's quite international, but The downloads have apparently come from 125 countries, which is, an extraordinary figure, and gives some credence to that word global that we all use a great deal.
I'm Dr. Kushanand. I work as a lecturer in education and citizenship at the UCL Institute of Education. Throughout my research career, I have been involved in several interdisciplinary projects, navigating the intersections of identity, citizenship, and education in India. My current work explores how ethnic minoritized children in care describe their identity. I published my very significant second book at the beginning of 2023 on teaching India-Pakistan relation. And this book shows teachers' attitudes and present pedagogical decision-making process in the classrooms in India and Pakistan when teaching India-Pakistan relations. And for both books, the open access has increased and developed new levels of engagement for me with scholars, policy makers, community members, potentially impacting teaching practices, research methodologies, and education policies. It has also led to new research collaborations. Working with UCL Press has been an exceptional experience. Their organization, structure, and unwavering support made the publication process for both books very seamless for me. In addition to metrics, I also received feedback from teachers via emails that has been overwhelmingly positive, highlighting a resonance with the content and a recognition for its value and relevance in educational context in India and Pakistan.
UCL Press was founded by me and by colleagues here in UCL Library Services in 2015, and in 2024 we're going to be celebrating 10 million downloads and accesses to all the material that UCL Press has published. Our research monographs, our open access educational textbooks, and our journal literature. It's a fantastic journey, and one that is gathering speed as we publish more and more. So this is an invitation to you. No matter who you are, if you are a member of UCL or outside UCL, we publish everyone's material if they have something to say, and it passes our peer review processes. So please, if you are an author or a potential author and would like to experience open access publishing and all the extra visibility that open access gives to your output, write to us here in UCL, in the press, and we'll consider seriously any application that you make. I look forward to receiving your proposals.